Well, my dear students, I have come again before you to discuss the second chapter of project management, that is called concept of life cycle of project and initiation of project. Since the dawn of the civilization, projects had been undertaken for our comforts to solve our problems. This was done as is now on the basis of available informations regarding problems, which I call data. Data is not only quantitative, like figures 1, 2, 3, 100, 2000 lakh, but also qualitative. Qualitative data is also important data because on the basis of this data, that is information, we formulate our plan and the strategy. But in the earlier days, the problem was not so much exposed. There was less competition and therefore the complications were less. So plans and projects could be easily framed and implemented because there were not much competition. Nowadays, almost all the countries have developed or are developing. People are growing in consciousness, and number of population has also increased tremendously, several folds. For instance, in 1960, the total population of India was almost 60 crores. In 1940s, the population of our country was 33 crores. Now, our total population is 130 crores. So, you can easily assume the pressure exerted by this increased population on our land and natural resources. Their necessities are vivid, that is bound to be, based on the socio-cultural milieu of different parts of the country. So therefore, there are much complications nowadays. And therefore, the entire span of the project is divided into several parts, and which is called life cycle of a project. Now, what are the parts? The first part is initiation. For the purpose, the first part is initiation, the second is organizing, third is execution, and fourth is completion. In initiation, what we do, formulate idea or plan on the basis of information regarding necessity scope of work finance and unit and type of manpower to be deployed. Keeping eye on backward and forward linkages. This part includes approval from government and office authority. Assignment, assigning a role specifically on personnel liaising with financial and other institutions as required. in execution, deployment, of personnel day-to-day monitoring, including field visit, and analysis of performance and the third and finally the completion, final evaluation, and submission of report satisfying the client. So, I have discussed in brief the entire life cycle of projects. In initiation, we formulate the idea or plan, on the basis of information regarding necessity and the necessity of the locality and necessity of the people. Scope of work, source of finance, initiative, type of manpower to be employed, to be deployed, and keeping eye on forward and backward linkages. The implication is that we may have information about various problems and the need of various type of projects to be implemented. But we have to keep an eye on the backward linkages, that is, the past conditions and other situations, and the forward, that is the on the backward linkages, on the basis of which we will proceed, and the forward linkages, that is the effect of the project we are planning to undertake. Now, when the matter is clear, our now task is to prepare the estimate, that is, or better to say, the detailed project report explaining the facts in details. This now we submit to the higher authority of the management body, who will ponder over the matter and give either approval or reject it. When the matter is approved, we now move to the government and government authority for permission as well as for fund. We have to keep in mind that the government approves the plan and approves the total estimated expenditure. The government may make the payment or may not. It may be done by the private sector entrepreneur. To do this, we have to choose the right man who will be able to take up the matter to the respective authority, convince them, and get the matter approved and the allotment also approved in the budget of the government. Then we have to liaise with financial institutions for fund and other institutions who we think may be helpful in the process of executing our plan. This apart, in organizing the project, we have to keep in mind of movement of the laborers. Before that, we have to recruit suitable labor force, skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled, as I have discussed in the earlier class. Machines and tools, that also has been discussed in earlier class. Transport, accommodation and fooding for even if we pay them a personnel, they may not like to work without these last three. If we can make some provisions for them, they may be enticed easily for organization for working in our organization. Now, when this is done, our task refers on to deploying suitable personnel, place-wise, assignment-wise, and monitoring their activities in field and also analysis of their daily performance on return from the field. While doing all this, we have to keep in mind the maximum allowable time period, and we shall have to make all efforts to complete all these before the time period is over. For finally, we have to submit the final evaluation report and to the satisfaction of the client. This is all about the project life cycle. Regarding initiation, I will explain the matter more elaborately in the next class. Thank you.